Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, you Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria. Munson here with Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. Tudo bem? Como está? How are you today? Do let us know in the chat. Mama Bear's ready to join us. But I did promise, or not but, it's an and I did promise yesterday I would complete on Pete Bleach's missive to us yesterday. Solo Life Portugal sent us some beautiful footage of a pheasant doing, I think, his thing. And we'll see if the pheasant is the power animal of Mamabear McGowan when she joins us in a few minutes. And, of course, at 9:30, Colin Ross-Jones joining us to talk about the upcoming beach rugby tournament in Ericeira. That's next weekend, if you want to go along for all the fun and enjoyment of watching beach rugby and a whole lot more, which he'll tell us about. He's with us and with his friend João, who's popping along to tell us more about it, who's the founder of the event as well. Colin, a big fan of rugby, and he likes this event as well, the beach rugby. Anyway, talk to him about that at 9:30. Anywho, in the meantime, let's have a look at a pheasant and then talk directly, presently, to Mamabear McGowan. Hold the line. Thank you very much, Peter. Let's give her a nice big round of applause and find out if indeed the pheasant is the power animal of Mamabear McGowan. A pheasant, is this you, just trying to go about your own business apart from people following you with cameras trying to take footage of you? Is that your power animal status?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Do you know much about power animals, Carl?
Not as much as I think I do.
I love that answer. Oh, yeah. Would you like to know anything about power animals? Like,
of course
just
I would. Yes, because nothing's an accident, is it? We have been blessed with a pheasant this morning, as we have been blessed with you. And we're being told your screen is black. I don't know. Can someone else confirm if that's the case? I can see Mamabear McGowan loud and clear, so to speak, to mix my metaphors. But yes, we've been blessed with you, Joan, Darren, the coach, Jackie, Milen, James, of course, and Mr. S already this morning. Tell us about power animals and specifically pheasants, if you can.
I'm not sure if I can tell you about pheasants instantly, but I can tell you that a power animal is something that comes into your life to bring you power and to support you in a certain way. So as a power animal enters your life, it will give you its characteristics that support you to make you stronger and more capable in different aspects of your life.
Oh, okay.
Spirit animal comes into your life. Spirit animals are those that come into your life to give you guidance and say, these are what we feel you need to look at and weigh up in your life to work out where you're going and what you're doing. And then you have totem animals. Now, totem animals are there from birth. So a totem animal is something we're born with. It's something we don't get out of. So spirit animals and power animals come in and out of our lives just like,
Yeah.
They're around for reasons and seasons. They're not around for lifetimes. Lifetimes are totem animals. So a totem animal comes into your life to empower you. We have two different totem animals. We have our Nawal and Tonal totem animals, and these animals are representative of two sections, of our personality. And as we go through life, they stay with us, so from conception to death. And the trick is to find out what our two totem animals are and unite them. Because when we have issues with, or imbalances, shall we say, in one section of our life, that's where we're not just imbalanced in that animal characteristic and embodying that animal characteristic, but it's also where that animal is battling the other animal.
The yin and yang of your animal landscape, you might say.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. And how do you find out what your animals are?
Come to someone like me who can help you work out which your animals are. That's for totem animals. For power animals and for spirit animals, power animals, you'd come to someone like me. And you can also choose to call them in yourself. So you can find an animal. Say if you're feeling a certain weakness in a certain area of your life, you can find out which animal would be best to support you at that time and call on in that animal to ask for its power to support you and your power, which is great, and that animal will come. As a spirit animal, you can't call in a spirit animal. No. Spirit animals are those things that kind of, when a bird flies into your window.
Yes.
That bird is trying to tell you something. When you run over an animal, not many people do, but if you've ever run over an animal, that animal has been trying to tell you something for so long and you've been ignoring it.
Slow down.
That animal has sacrificed its life to make you pay attention.
Yes.
Also, things like ant infestations, things like that, bees visiting and extra wasps, all of these things, the animals, the spirit animals coming into our lives to tell us that we need to be paying attention to something.
Well, I hadn't expected to be speaking to you about such a subject, but it is fascinating, and it does precipitate further thought for me. Now, flies visit me in the studio here, and I have a special welcome for them. And I feel a little bit bad about that now, that the electric welcome is perhaps a little unkind if they're bringing me a message.
It is, especially since they're about community and learning to improve our communication. So you're giving them one hell of a headache or taking them out of the, but they'll keep coming until you pay attention.
I have noticed that. Yes.
When you pay attention and do the work, and that's not personal. There is nothing personal in this life whatsoever. But when you or me or whoever does the work that the spirit animal has brought to us to contemplate and apply, then that animal will just go. There will be no more.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yes. Very good. Well, flies, that's flies dealt with. I also, which obviously is no accident either, have my kitten power mug as well, which is bought for me, ironically. And I was going to ask you, actually, it did occur to me. I honestly didn't know we were going to be talking about power animals. We hadn't discussed it beforehand, but what are cats for? I mean, here I am with my kitten power mug. And cats annoy the hell out of me, I've got to say. There's two of them in this house, and they trip me up. Just this morning, one of them pushed a rock off the not the sideboard, but on this setup behind me, pushed a rock onto the floor, jumped out of my skin, yowling first thing in the morning, give them some food. They're still yowling. The food's there. Yeah, I want to go out, sit on the doorstep. All that cat stuff. Why?
Well, there's two reasons. One, if a cat's there and it's just normal, there's anything particularly special about it. It's just there.
Yeah.
When cats keep showing up and keep forcing you to take notice and doing things that are a bit unusual, then they're trying to bring your attention. Cats are very, very connected with other worlds. They're very connected with particularly your extra senses. So not the 5D sensory world, sorry, the 5 sensory world that we experience with, sight and sound and taste and touch and smell. But cats are about the inner world. And so within, so without. So it's not just what's happening in our inner world, it's what's happening beyond the sight you can see with your eyes. What are you feeling? What are you missing? What's the big picture that you're missing in your life? Because these things matter. And the cats are saying, boy, are you paying attention to your intuition? Are you paying attention to your outer world and what's really going on, or are you just looking at the surface?
And that's why I shout at them, shut up, because my psychic self is not being acknowledged, and they are reminding me, and not now. Do not trip me up when I'm coming down the stairs, or yell at me when I'm trying to do something important, like make a cup of tea. But I take that completely. That makes complete sense. Asa is enjoying the talk this morning. Good morning to you, Asa Gould. But what a name to have as well. The Ace of Gold is what I'm going to go with you this morning. And there's a lot of talk about pheasants and also herons. Now, I would agree with Darren here. I believe my spirit animal is heron. I don't agree with you that it's yours. I don't know, is what I'm saying. I don't disagree. But herons and hawks, my balance. Go on, Em.
It says my spirit animal is heron. So based on what I've said, does he mean his totem animal? So his animal for life is heron, or the spirit animal he's dealing with at the current moment is heron? So is it the animal that's just showing up in his life that he keeps seeing everywhere?
In my if it going to my intuition now with the cat, the feline reminder, I would say he is talking about his spirit animal, and I feel the same. Herons have been a recurring, jays, herons, and hawks, and it might be that two of those three are my yin and yang balancing act of my spirit animals. Very interesting. Thank you.
Not quite. When you look at, a jay. But it was more the other animals, because birds of prey are showing us higher perspective.
Yes.
And a stork it's not so much a bird of prey as such, but it's higher up the food chain, isn't it? It's much more slower and much more zen.
Well, that's right. He is a hunter. He's a stealthy hunter, but he's calm and quiet about it. And if I ever write an autobiography, I might call it The Hawk and the Heron, as the balancing act of my existence. But enough about me. You've joined us this morning. Oh, and a quick Bom dia Portugal from João Ernesto. Good morning, everybody. We have Mamabear McGowan with us. We only got about 15 minutes left now, because we've got Colin joining us at 9:30. But when we were corresponding late last night, as is often the way with me and my Good Morning Portugal co-host, you'd have thought I'd have figured it out by now and got in touch with them a little bit earlier than I do. But there we were, talking about 10 o'clock last night. And it sounded to, oh, look, we're on big TV now too. How about that? That you had quite the breakthrough last night, and I feel that you were going to share with us some of the nature and effect of this breakthrough that had occurred to you only yesterday.
Yeah, it's funny you'd said about avoiding things, and yesterday it's how it begins. because was determined to do some inner work on forgiveness. And forgiveness work is not the easiest work to do ever at all.
Right.
And I was sitting there, and I was determined that I thought, right, it's all making sense now. All I have to do is write down the series of giant events in my life and come to an act of forgiveness over these giant events, because nothing's personal. And the only thing that forgiveness is required for is because I'm taking it personally. And then because I take it personally, I hold grudges and I have resentments, and I lose my flow because I'm caught up in the anchor that I created for myself, the attachment, if you will, to the circumstance, the memory. And I decided that I needed to write this out. So as I was starting to write out some of the events in my life, I realised that, because I started with the big events, and it was like, right, such a big event, and this event created this. So one of the first things I went to was, I was made street homeless at 15 years old. My mum had decided I did drugs because I'd shaved my hair, and I'd never touched drugs in my life, but there I was, 15 years old, on the streets. And the result of that choice, that behaviour of my mum, meant I met some of the most amazing people. I learned some of the most amazing lessons about being resourceful, about connection, about true community, about sticking together, about morals, about ethics. I found some real amazing people to hang out with. We were dead against stealing. We were all about empowering ourselves and each other. What an amazing experience, I tell you. And some of these people are still in my life today. So I'd started with that, and I saw how the choices that I'd made because of those events had impacted other things and spread out into my life. And then I recognized that it wasn't just the big things, because I started seeing how the little things and the little choices that I'd made, and I'd only got into like 10 events, and in my life there must have been hundreds of huge events and thousands of small events. And I was just blown away by how connected everything really is, how every single choice connected with who we hang out with, what we believe, what we choose to do with our time and energy matters, and how it really can affect our flow. And the funny thing is that before I got to that stage, and I'm still blown away now, it makes me think, whoa, what am I saying? I knew about karma and I practiced karma yoga, but it's took that karma yoga to a whole new depth of being. And it blew me away. But I also recognized that yesterday I started off talk about consequences of our actions. I started off doing the usual walk the dog and then wash the pots, and then I caught myself out. I was like, aha, I see you. You're trying to avoid doing the forgiveness work, aren't you? And then I was like, well, I'm doing jobs. And I was like, come on, seriously, you've not wanted to tidy that desk for flaming weeks, and here you are tidying desks. The world is not going to end if you don't tidy that desk and you sit your butt down and you do this forgiveness work. This is me talking to myself as I do.
Yeah. Now,
so I was like,
from just one moment, if people think you're mad for talking to yourself, and you don't think you have voices in your head, the voice in your head that just told you that M was mad is the voice we're talking about. So we all do it. Some of us do it more consciously than others, as M is demonstrating here. Please carry on.
So I was just like, okay. And then I was like, and then I'm like, come on, you're trying to avoid it. And then I was like, okay, so I get it. I'm trying to avoid the forgiveness work, but I told myself today I was going to do it. So I'm going to try and get the mood. I'm going to continue what I'm doing, but I'm going to try and swing the mood. So I get onto the YouTube and I put a video up by, I don't know if you peoples have found After School. I find there's some of the most
great. Yeah.
videos. And I watched the one by Kant, K-A-N-T.
Oh, okay.
And is amazing. Like, and I've got the notes here I did have the notes here. And obviously I've done something really important with them, which means I can't read. There it is. Can't recognize that rationality is sacred. So our consciousness is sacred, the ability to think, the ability to make conscious choices. And this is where everything all stemmed from, because our choices affect us. The big ones, the little ones, everything's connected to everything else. Everything, if we was to draw our big choices on a web and then try and connect all the little choices, that's where my head just went, I don't think so. This is just too overwhelming to even think about. That is one hell of a spider web of life.
Yeah.
And Kant also says we don't use people or ourselves as a means. We only use people or self as an end. Otherwise, we're selling them out or selling us out. So it's really important to make conscious choices where we're recognizing all consciousness, all things with consciousness, which to my awareness is absolutely everything, but more so animals and human beings. We don't use animals as a means to an end, you know. We use animals as the towards the end. So anyone confused by that, which possibly you are, go to After School on YouTube and look up, just put in After School. I think school spelled S-K. Oh, well done. And look up Kant, because honestly, that video just took what I was doing with my forgiveness work, with my archetype work, with my awareness work, with my usual practice of karma yoga, and it helped me call myself out and see where I sell myself out. So in life, those times I've made choices where I've treated other people as more important than myself, and I have given people more respect, and I betrayed myself. I kept myself quiet.
And you got that realization.
I recognize it's not about keeping quiet. I recognize life is about keeping asking questions. Always ask questions, and always go with your inner GPS. Inner GPS, so it will keep us in alignment with our truth. Like anyone else's truth, it doesn't matter. Absolute truth matters, and that itself is impersonal. So our truth is where we're at the time, according to our level of awareness. But absolute truth is true no matter where you are in the world, no matter what you do. Those things can never be changed. So it's really important we recognize the importance of our choices, and our choices come from our thoughts, and we do the inner work. We do the inner work, and we look at things and think, well, is this for the highest good? Am I doing this right now for my ego? Am I doing this right now to get something that is maybe trying to manipulate or change? Because I recognize there is no manipulation and changing things that's long term. When we manipulate and change anything, it's short term. and we're screwing ourselves over, we're creating more friction, and we're sending us, it looks like the easy route. It's not the easy route. We're sending ourselves on the hardest track up the mountain when we do that.
Very good.
It's easy to face truth, whatever that truth is to us, and challenge ourselves, get over ourselves, get out of our own way, and keep going. That is the easiest route.
Now, you're somebody who I wouldn't have it down as who keeps quiet, but I do also understand what you mean. You know, you are very open and authentic in your communication, and of course that could be misleading, couldn't it? One could imagine that you're like that in every area of your life, and there you have caught yourself out dealing in areas of your life where you're not like that, and where it might have cost you, which I find fascinating.
It's took a long time, Carl, to have the courage. It takes a lot of courage to speak up and to say your truth.
Yeah.
Especially when you've been brought up in an environment like I was, where you weren't allowed to speak. You know, I spent a lot of my childhood in silence, unless I was at school and stuff, or unless I was asking questions about a book or whatever. And I was often pushed away, shunned for things. And I lived my life writing poetry, walking about in nature if I was allowed out. And I would be drawing and drawing and drawing. I had a very quiet life, and I was a very scared person. I lived a considerable amount of my life in fear.
Wow.
And I don't live that way. And the only reason why I don't live that way is because of the huge, gigantic web of life that has took me from where I was to where I'm at now.
Totally get that. Now, we've got a few minutes left, and I want to ask you a very important question, because I don't think you are alone in that autobiography. And it's interesting, isn't it? Those of us who know you in this context might be surprised to hear what you've just said. And that's one of the beauties, actually, isn't it? We talked on the show before about how when you move away, you can reinvent yourself. And that might be something that you've done, or it might not, but certainly we know you. The yowling cat is here.
Hi, meow. But it's not reinventing yourself, Carl.
Oh, no, but hold on. No, please don't. I have a more important question for you. And this is. So I'm not attached to the fact that it might be reinvention or not, but I'm just saying we know you as a different person to the one you've described. I think I certainly do. I'll own that for myself. Now, I think others might be in this condition, brought up to be quiet, and lived in fear, and they may be in a position in their life now, and you might say the times are conducive to the addressing that particular issue. What would you say to people in that condition who might have lived a lie? It might feel like that. They might be thinking there's more. They might be thinking this isn't the real me that I've been presenting in the world. I know there's more to me. How might they go about that, given that they are perhaps undermined by fear in the doing of that? Because
it's not you. Because that quiet me was not me. It was not my honest me. It was me who was just trying to protect me. It was ego. That was my ego self. My true self, the person who I am today, is more authentic than I've ever been. It's a journey. I honor my truth. That doesn't mean that I walk through the world selfishly and disrespect other people and other things. It means that I take responsibility for where I'm at today. I take responsibility for my life. And we need to stop thinking the world is to me. Like back then, I was in victim. Like those times where we're pushed into selling ourselves out and betraying our truth and keeping our mouth shut. The truth is, it's not really who we are, but we had to do it to stay safe. The more we come online, the more we come online with our absolute truth, the more we can find a safe place to live and a safe place to express ourselves. Start by going to a counsellor. go to a therapist, find a way of speaking and coming into alignment with your core values. Once you come into alignment with your core values, you can't sell yourself out anymore, because you know that's your truth. And the only reason why you'd ignore your core values is because you're so attached to the something you're getting from something else. The something you're getting is obviously like an addiction. It's obviously serving you in some way that you don't realize. But it also keeps you stuck, keeps you stagnant, keeps you dense energetically. You need to let it go. You need to move through. You need to come in true north.
Fantastic. Thank you. We need to move on to Colin. Now, in some ways, I don't want to, because I'm enjoying the conversation. But in many ways, I do want to, because it's going to be fun talking to Colin, as ever. And as I do so, thank you, Em, for being with us. The Mamabear McGowan, you can find her on Care and Share Portugal, the Facebook group, and reach out if what she said has been inspiring to you this morning as well. So thanks, Em. Final quick word.
Come and find me at Creative Roots Portugal. It's my permaculture project. Here I offer therapy, spiritual therapy and counselling. And I help you tune into who you really are, the truth of who you are.
What an invitation! What an invitation. Okay, I'm not going to give you a round of applause. I'm going to sprinkle you with gumper dust. There you go. Cheers, Em. Take care. Go well. Namaste. Om Shanti. And up the Gunners. See you soon. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao. There I go. There she goes. No, there we go. Right. Now let's give these gentlemen a nice big round of applause. We've got Colin Ross-Jones, the former racing driver and Silver Coast celebrity, Colin Ross-Jones, and his friend, João Alves da Silva. Please. They love a warm hand on their opening. Let's give them one. Here he is, Colin Ross-Jones. And João, good morning to you. Is it true you like a warm hand on your opening, Colin?
Morning.
Good morning, João. Olá, bom dia. Tudo bem?
Tudo. Good morning.
It's good to see you. Good to meet you. Muito prazer. Colin's speechless, I think, after that intro. You gentlemen are here to talk about the beach rugby, which Colin is a massive fan of, João. He keeps inviting me to it. I don't know if I can come this weekend, but I urge others to do so, because it looks like a fantastic event. Colin, how did you get involved in this event that João, I think, is the founder of?
Yeah, well, actually, the interesting story is how João started Ericeira Rugby. So I pass it over to him to introduce how he actually started the Ericeira Rugby Club.
It's like a rugby ball. He's made the pass. Will João pick it up and run with it?
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for the chance to talk about the beach rugby. It all started first how the rugby started in Ericeira. I'm a former Belenenses player, a team from Lisbon, and I came to live to Ericeira. And in 2008, in the summer, I was with my little kid. He was 6 by that time. I was at the beach passing the ball with him just to have fun. And then others start coming to pass the ball. And after a little, we had 6, 7 kids playing with the ball.
Cool.
And I start talking with one of the parents of the kids, and he made me a challenge. Hey, why don't you start a rugby club? This ball, it's good for the kids. They are enjoying it. Perhaps if you start something here, you could have some success. And at the first time, I didn't give that much importance to it, but in the end of the summer, perhaps it's a good idea. And I start talking with the clubs around, and the Ericeira club, Ericeirense, gave me the hand, and we started. And then we needed some way to show the people from Ericeira and around that the rugby was here. And I had the idea to do a beach rugby tournament in the center of the village. Then we start to do it in the Praia de Pescadores, really in the center of the village, because it was a small tournament. It's a place where everybody see it, and that was the idea to make the promotion of rugby here, to start the beach rugby. At the beginning, it was just a very small thing, but then when we start doing it with kids, we saw that the kids love it, and it starts growing and growing and growing. Bring more teams. We had to go to a bigger place. We went to Foz do Lisandro after 4 years, and then it's been growing every year. This year we are hoping to have 96 teams in to play in all ages, since under-8s until seniors, and at all the ages we have a lot of teams.
Amazing.
Even so, and that's it. Nowadays, it's I believe one of the biggest in the world for kids. I don't know any in the world as big as this for kids, but I'm not sure if it's the biggest one. But I know it's one big one for kids.
It's big for sure, isn't it? When this first happened, when you were just playing rugby with your kid on the beach, what year was that?
2008.
Amazing.
In the summer of 2008, and then in November, in the beginning of November, we started the club. We started the sessions.
Incredible.
It took 2 months to prepare everything, to have the papers and be in the federation. And then we started.
Amazing. And is this what Portuguese people do? You know, you're having fun, and they say, you know what, you should start a club. Or is this how things begin in Portugal? It's a bit of fun, and then it turns into a huge organization of this kind.
Yeah, sometimes the situation creates the opportunity, and that's what it was.
Yeah,
it was nothing that was in my head, but it was okay for me, because I changed my life by that time. I was doing one thing for a living, and I had to change it, and then I had space to start another thing. I had a lot of time, and then it was a perfect opportunity. And then I didn't. I went away from rugby when I came to live to Ericeira in 2002, and it was already 6 years without rugby. It was tough for a rugby guy. It was easy to find the solution to return to rugby.
Yes.
The guys that are in rugby understand what I'm saying. It's difficult to be away.
No, I'm not a rugby player, but I do understand the passion, and I've seen it among rugby players. And of course, Colin's a very passionate rugby player. He's known as Rugby Colin in some circles here as well. Pete wants to say to you, João, well done, João. It's people like you who make community life in Portugal so rich and rewarding. The sheer volume of activities in Portugal is at odds with the small population. So love coming in from Fundão this morning. Colin, when did you chance upon this amazing event? And obviously it collided with your passion for the sport as well.
Yes, well, somebody that I had a badminton class that I ran in Ribamar, just outside Ericeira. And one of the surfers that came to my class knew I was an ex-rugby player, and somehow João and I, through a mother of one of the surfers, contacted João and said, we know this Welsh guy who is passionate about rugby, and João and I met, and when we started, we had half of Ericeira football clubs artificial area to train on, which wasn't ideal, but you know, we did what we could do, and those kids stayed with us till, well, some of them will be at the beach rugby, and they're now in their 20s.
Amazing. Great job.
I can't remember the exact year, João, but I did about 8 years with you, I think.
Yeah, I think you started perhaps in 2010, and
I think
you were with us until you go away. You went to another place. Oh, it's difficult. You try to help, but 100 kilometers away, but even so, you're still with us.
Yeah.
That's how rugby
Don't
is.
worry, I
You're still with them.
haven't trained a Caldas yet.
He's still loyal to the Ericeira there. So
Well,
let's compare and
That's why I
contrast.
should be there on the Saturday.
Well, you will be there, and it is happening this week, this very weekend. We're talking about the 15th and 16th. Starts at 10 in the morning, goes on till 7 in the evening. It's not just the rugby. I mean, of course, that's the main event, but there's all sorts going on there. Nearly 100 teams taking part in it, as Joao said. Tell us about the sport itself, Colin, because rugby can be tough enough, but playing in the sand adds a new dimension of arduousness, I think, to the sport, does it not?
Well, having listened to Mamabear there about the animals, it makes me remember that whilst I'm coaching the kids with the rugby for beach rugby, I keep telling them to use the ball and be intelligent, but they use their animal instincts and try and run through each other.
That's going to be exhausting, isn't it? I mean, 2 minutes of that is going to be completely tiring.
Is it 5 or 10 minutes each way? I can't remember, Joao.
It's 5 minutes each way. Five players on the pitch, but each team has 12 players. They are always changing because it's really tough. It looks like a very small game, but in 10 minutes, everybody stays completely.
I bet. Gasping for breath on the beach. And so is it like tag team then? You can tag players to come on at any time, or do you have to wait?
There can only be 5 players on the pitch at any one time. What tends to happen is as soon as a try is scored, whoever scores that try, it doesn't matter which side, the other 5 run on and start playing.
Oh, so it's one team, or it's one of your teams or the other. You can't mix and match.
That's what tends to happen, and until somebody later on in the afternoon, they tend to be very tired and they're going like this. Oh, bring somebody on. So they'll go off and one person will come on. But basically, it's 5 on, 5 off.
So and not just the sand bit under your feet making it difficult, but the sun above you in June as well. So that's another dimension to the sport. This is a tough game.
I always try, which is very difficult for them. They're at the beach, and we know the Portuguese love the beach, and I'm trying to get them all the time to be in the shade, because those that stay in the shade have got more energy.
Yes.
Than those that are out sunbathing, and then they're asked to go and play 10 minutes of rugby.
So I mean, he
surface,
must.
You can't. Even though you're strong or even though you're fast, the sand really does bring it down to
doesn't it?
A different level.
Now, Joao, I need to ask you. Colin's a good friend of mine, and it strikes me that as an import into the coaching of Portuguese players, he's like a Welsh wizard. He's like Gandalf, isn't he? Now, if he grew a beard, a longer grey beard, and had a staff, he could stand on the side of the pitch, and he could be like a Gandalf character coaching the young men. How has it been to have a Welsh coach? This is a home of rugby, of course, isn't it?
It's good because Colin keep it really simple for the guys, and sometimes that's the most important. Yes. You don't, if you say too much things, if you ask them for very complicated things, they will not do it. Then it's better to give very simple instructions, and Colin has ability since the beginning. Even the kids. Kid with calling, hey, pass the ball. They are always saying when they see calling, they start saying, pass the ball.
I can imagine that when he's walking around in Ericeira and there's some kids walk past and go, hey, pass the ball. There he is.
And they also say calma pass. Calma. It's easy pass. And they always say just getting around with calling calma pass, because it's one of the things that calling is for.
That's fantastic. A local legend then, up and down the Silver Coast. We've got. Can you stay for a little bit longer, because we need to find out a little bit more about the event itself? But we've got a God Squad tip of the day. We know that Coach Turner here believes in simplicity in coaching. He's a track coach, athletics coach, and he was talking about simplicity yesterday. A wet day yesterday and cold in the middle of June in the UK, still looking better tomorrow. training and coaching later, but first my habitual coffee. Have a great day. Here's God Squad tip of the day. And as sports people, you might want to add to this as well. God Squad tip of the day: keeping your muscles in good condition is important as we age. Stretching is part of that process, but there are some exercises that combine strength work with stretching. We'll look at some of these this week. Firstly, form a heel lift. Stand on a step with your heels hanging over the edge. It helps if you have something to hold on to for balance, a person or a bit of furniture. Rise up on the balls of your feet and slowly drop down as far as you can go. Repeat 10 times in 3 sets. Once you've mastered that, try one leg. This strengthens the calf and ankle. It also stretches the calf, helping to minimize injury and keeping it healthy. Now, I think João and Colin, you'd approve of that. Thank you, Coach Jenner, for your God Squad tip of the day. This is fitness for the older bon vivant, the person who's retired maybe in Portugal and wants to keep in good shape, João. Would beach rugby be a good way of keeping in shape for older folks as well?
I think it's too hard.
Okay, all right.
There are some exercises that the people can do at the beach. If it's beach rugby, it could be, but even so, it's too hard to run on the sand. I think should be better other things.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Such as badminton and pickleball. We know you coach in those as well, Colin. What have you got to say about that?
Sorry, I couldn't understand if you were.
We've got Colin showing us his armpit. I was asking about pickleball and badminton, and now he's doing some exercises. Can you still hear us?
Pickleball.
Ah, there you go. It's not a medical condition; it's actually a sport. Now, tell us give us a little bit of a quick insight, if you will, into pickleball, Colin, and the benefits for seniors.
Basically, pickleball is normally played by four people, two either side, on a badminton court with a net that's the height of a tennis net. You have large, what we call paddles, but they are bats which are solid, and they're like an overgrown table tennis bat. And you play with a plastic ball with holes in, like the type of golf practice ball, but the size of a tennis ball. And it's a sport that I found out about at 71, and I play 3 times a week, and I coach also.
Fantastic.
On a Friday, so it's not too hard on the body, although my masseur doesn't agree with that.
Yeah, you just like a massage, to be fair. Okay, excellent. Thank you for the introduction to pickleball. Let's get back to the rugby and this weekend's event. Then here it is, 15th and 16th, starting at 10 and going on till 7 in the evening. I suspect there's partying on the beach thereafter as well. So tell us a bit more about what's going on around the event, if you will, João. I mean, if people could come down and watch the rugby, they'll be able to have something to eat and to drink and other activities, I believe, going on the beach as well. Is that right?
Yes. First, in this year, we're going to have a new prize, a new, I don't know if I'm saying the correct word. I think it's prize. They will receive another competition. We'll have another competition for the first year. It's the show team. We want the teams to have fun and to do things to make everybody have fun. And then the team that gives more show inside the pitch and outside the pitch during the game will win a prize. They will go. All the team will go to a restaurant to eat together in the end of the tournament.
Wonderful.
To see if we can make a big party. We're gonna have a DJ with songs. We're gonna have some things for the kids to play, and that competition of the show team to see if the people that pass it see, oh, rugby is a wonderful environment.
Yes.
Wow, how can they be fighting like that and then everybody just having fun? And because I think it's a good impact for the population, because the rugby here in Portugal is difficult to arrive to everybody. And when we do it on a beach like Foz do Lisandro, with thousands of people going, even without the rugby, and then all the people that goes with rugby, it's very good promotion. And if we do it in that positive way, we believe that will do a better service for rugby and for our sport, and we're gonna have more fun during the weekend. And
Brilliant.
that's another competition that we have this year, the show team.
Yeah, well, I mean, that it's an important point you make there. It is a showcase event. I know in the United Kingdom, rugby is much better known and more people are involved. And it has been a good year for rugby, right, Colin? For the Portuguese team, for the
Well,
Portuguese rugby culture, it's been a good one.
there was a massive change when Portugal went into the first World Cup.
Yeah.
I can't remember what year that was, but
2007.
2007. That really, within the rugby community, everybody was heartfelt about the fact that they were, singing their national anthem so strongly, and they performed so well in such a big competition.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew that Portugal had a team even.
Yes.
So that then really helped with João when he was going around the schools to promote rugby. The parents wanted the kids to have a go at it, and that was the first injection of people wanting to play rugby, and we grew quite a few teams. I think it was what we had from under-8s right up to under-18s.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
And at one stage, even the senior team.
So it is looking good then, isn't it? I mean, with that going on a national level and this going on at a local level. I mean, you've been doing this for so long. It's amazing, the history of this event. So a good times for rugby here in Portugal. Great time to get involved and a good introduction. If you love rugby, you're going to love this. If you want to find out more about it, get down there this weekend, and you can get a decent burger from New Hamburgerology as well, who look like one of the many sponsors. I mean, so many people are behind this event. If you look at all those logos there, you're seeing all the people who love this event and are getting involved with it. So all the best, João. Thank you so much. Muito prazer, muito obrigado, e boa sorte for the event.
What?
Just one question. Do we have the cars, João?
No, we don't have the car yet.
Toyota and Lexus have let us down at last minute.
Public shaming. Okay,
well, yeah, but
Colin he also loves his motors, but there's not going to be any show cars there this weekend by the sound of it.
They need more time. I think it's understandable because it was they need more time to make it happen. But I think the door is open for next year, Colin. Yeah,
absolutely. And a bit of Go Motoring Portugal. I'm going to play that jingle. You remind me that we have a motoring segment to this show. I'll play that by way of a goodbye to you, Colin, and to you as well. So thank you, gentlemen. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. It's looking like the weather's going to be great, and you're going to have a lot of fun in Ericeira. All the best to you. Thank you for being here. Ciao, ciao. Muito obrigado. Ciao, ciao, ciao. There they go. Let's play that. So let's play that motoring video. I'll be right back after this with a few more, the mindful moments, of course, and your other correspondence that's come in. We will have more motoring videos for you. We've made a lot of use of that one. We will have others and our reviews as well. Still love you, Toyota. That last one we had, the Toyota Prolapse, was fabulous. Good morning to you, T-Duck and Paul Richards. Get off the roof. Do you not remember what happened to Rod Hull? Late on parade, on the roof, taking down a satellite dish. Do not do that. Come on, Paul. You're loaded. Get someone else to do it. But he is from Yorkshire as well. No longer needed. Sun back in the Algarve. Fantastic. Pete, I have a few friends that played at international level and have taught a great number of Olympic gold medalists. But unfortunately, the vast majority came from one particular school. Why is that unfortunately? Oh, because of the focus of opportunity there. Perhaps that is the point you're making. Oh, I see. Yes, that with the highest fees, the quality of coaching is by far the biggest factor in terms of international success. And we had Steve Redgrave and Matthew Pinsent coaching our rowing teams. Oh, I see. Yes. So the meritocracy powered by capitalism there is the Olympic formula in the UK, at least. To decide our rugby teams, we would run the kids around the field, and whoever threw up made the last team. I was in that team. Crown green bowling, not just for the old, a lot of skill required. Yes, absolutely. But are there any crown greens here in Portugal? We have the Orca football tournament this month with €1,700 prize. It gets deliciously dirty. Oh, and Deagle, thank you very much, Deagle, for your mention this morning. I didn't mention it while Colin was on because he has a physical reaction every time I mention football. Ireland versus Portugal tonight, final warm-up before the Euros. So come on, Força Portugal. Well, if you're here, torn perhaps, Deagle there. Oh, well, yes, it'll be. Is that the Republic play? It will be, wouldn't it? Republic play in Portugal tonight there. So I'm guessing you're. Maybe still difficult. I wonder who you're rooting for tonight then, Deagle. Let us know. Good to see you, T-Duck and Pete with the Orca Festival, the football festival there. It's 5-a-side, and last year in the semi-final, 4 players were sent off. But just as Joao was saying with the rugby, probably all drinking in the bar afterwards together and having a party. And that's the place to have it out, isn't it? On the pitch, and keep it nice in real life and off the pitch and in the pub. Thank you, Joao y Colin. Rugby Colin says, Squire of the Shires, good to see you. Morning, Squire. How are you? And we've done the God's God tip of the day. Let's have a mindful moment. We've reached into the spiritual and the physical this morning, the sublime and the ridiculous. Mindful moment. A mind set in its ways is wasted, says Eric Schmidt. Yeah, I've always thought that and always will. A mind set in its ways is wasted. Thank you, Eric, via James this morning. And a mindful dad joke. I was in a band called The Hinges. The old ones are the oldest. We opened for the Doors. Thank you very much. And your visual contributions this morning, let's bring those up onto the screen as well. They're here somewhere. Oh, thank you, Antonio. These sayings keep coming over at the Portugal Club. Yes, and of course, there is a Portugal Club party tonight. Sorry, nearly forgot to mention this. Look, if you're a Portugal Club member, if you're over there at GMP VIP, or if you think you should be on the guest list, if you're a Gumper, drop me a line. We'll have a party tonight at 8:30, the online social tonight. So come along for that. Want to see more of you there? Bring a drink. The way we do it's not all serious and webinar like. I do that on a Thursday. This is a social, alcohol-fueled social of Gumper gathering, Portugal Club get together every Tuesday. Tonight we'll have a little bit of a Portugal Day party, Portugal Day +1, right? And we'll have a hangout together. So that's tonight. Just drop me a line if you want the link for that. And we do it on a Google Hangout or Meet or whatever they call it. And it's quite a good platform for doing so. So maybe see you later on this evening for a bit of that. Yes, and thank you, Antonio. En diciembre traem o frío en cada membro. And in December, every limb trembles with cold. But that's the past. It's the summer now, where en dia de festa, barriga a testa. On a party day, your belly shows. And I hope bellies are showing all over the country at the moment. Actually, we'll go out with a bit of party action from Philomena. She'll be delivering a guide to partying in Portugal for this evening, for Thursday evening's webinar at 7:30. Looking forward to chatting with you then. And thank you for your clip this morning, Philomena, which I'll play by way of going out this morning. When ego is trying to get higher self attention during meditation. Yes, it is like that, is it not? For those of you who have experienced meditation at any level, I suspect, when ego is trying to get higher self's attention during meditation. Keep it simple. Just give it a go and put your heart into it. Don't worry too much about all of these technical terms, higher selves, egos and stuff. It's all a distraction, isn't it? From the main event, which is the joy of life. A bit of boing in your life, as we discovered yesterday, where being meets doing. You get boing, or a bit of swing. Tea time with Mr. Wolf then. Give a man a plane ticket and he'll fly for a day. Push a man from a plane and he'll fly for the rest of his life. Are we missing something at the bottom there as well? No, we're not. We're just a devilish grin. I didn't know Benny Hill used to be on Star Trek as well. That's amazing. Thank you very much for that. I think that's everything this morning, apart from a chilling fact that Elon Musk, his dream, I've discovered, is to reach Uranus. So be careful out there, everybody. Have a great day, and we'll go out with this bit of footage from Philomena that's come in this morning. Much appreciated. Take care. Bye for now, and see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao!